Tonight, thousands of students head back to school. We've got the latest. Also, the opening of school doesn't come without its challenges. And later, remembering Dorian 6 years later. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. It's back to school as classrooms across the country filled up today. Students returning from summer break, and for many of them, it was their very first day of school. Arlington Ritchie Jr. visiting a few schools in the Eastern District this morning. He has the details in this report tonight.
Monday morning school campuses across the country were filled with smiles, hugs, kisses, and lots of flash photography as teachers welcome children back into the classroom for what they say will be a year of success. Eyewitness News visited Sandilands Primary School, L.W. Young Junior School, and Doris Johnson Senior High, capturing all the heartfelt memories. Lothario Otterly Sr. says for him, missing this moment was impossible.
Brings back memory when I was in primary school. Man and fathers are important in the life of children.
As faculty members stood by meeting parents and softening the blow of letting their kids go, principals at the institutions named their priorities to ensure students live out their full potential.
To engage the children, find out their learning styles, what they'd like to do, making sure that all of the children who need that extra help, they get that extra help.
Safe and inviting learning atmosphere, then the academics can fall into place.
Sixth grader Liam Stubbs, with aspirations to one day be a mechanical engineer, emphasizing that this school year for him is all about finishing strong and making sure his classmates too meet the mark.
I'm excited for new things I can achieve, what I can bring to a different outcome. I hope that we would all achieve at least a 3-point or greater.
With many children spending, in some cases, more time at school than home, language arts teacher John A. Roker at Doris Johnson explains that as an educator, it's always a goal to go the extra mile.
Well, for me, I aspire to inspire the whole child. So that means that when they are within the four walls of my classroom, I'm preparing them for life beyond those four walls. I'm just impacting them in a positive way.
And with the year starting on the right foot, according to school administration teams, they leave this message for parents and students.
Let's present a united front so that our boys and girls know that there's no time for slacking off. And that you need us to do an eagle's nest, please. Don't sit back, come and let us know.
We want them to set high standards for themselves and to set big goals.
Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, it wasn't all sunshine and roses for educators returning to the classroom on Monday morning after wrapping up their summer break. That's according to their union chief, who's pulling back the curtain on a number of unresolved issues that she says will most likely have a negative impact as the semester continues. Our Jose Etienne has the details tonight.
The first day of school for the 2025 fall semester is now in the history books, but Bahamas Teachers Union President Belinda Wilson isn't holding back on what she says are sore points as teachers and students return to the classroom.
Unfinished work. Everybody running around like chicken with their head chopped off. At the 9th hour, you have persons painting, contractors running up and down, the garbage.
She's shedding light on this issue days after insisting on making rounds across schools to assess the ongoing repairs herself, despite education officials asserting that the completion project is on track. She says the reported unfinished repairs has more to do with outstanding payments.
Mr. Prime Minister, could you stay in the country long enough so you could pay the contractors on time so that 11 o'clock last night, they're not in the schools trying to paint, but you didn't give them the money. You did say we have $135.4 million in surplus. So, sir, pay the contractors to have the schools ready.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg for the union president. Another reality that's not sitting well with Wilson.
This morning, Century Lutheran does not have a principal identified. Laura Anderson, a principal is not identified. Columbus Primary, a principal is not identified. Claridge Primary, a principal is not identified. And the new, long-awaited 9-year building, Homestead Rock Junior High, is opening this morning without a principal that's been identified. I mean, and every year it's the same issues.
Now, the Ministry of Education has been dragged in controversy in recent days due to demonstrations, forcing many to question whether or not the reopening of school would be a seamless flow. Wilson's of the view that officials have ignored ongoing tensions.
Because teachers have not received their class list, their registers, some of them don't know their grade levels. They don't know the classrooms that they will be occupying this morning. I asked her to push the school back 1 week for the students to allow the teachers to get orientation, to have all their materials and tools to decorate their classrooms. That recommendation was not accepted.
And then there's the issue of teacher shortage. However, education officials previously asserted that the re-engagement of retired teachers would help to mitigate this issue. But here's how Wilson says officials dropped the ball.
Our Bahamian children who've been to the College of the Bahamas for 4 years, most of them on scholarships and grants from the government. They are still at home, awaiting their appointment letters and their posting letters. So how can we say, and we know that we have a teacher shortage, but we fail to provide them with their letters so that they would be in schools today.
Meanwhile, calls made to Education Director Dominic McCartney Russell were unsuccessful up to news time. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, after a week of withdrawing their labor before the official opening of the academic year, administrators returning to school campuses, many of them say they're satisfied that their long list of issues are finally being addressed. President of the Bahamas Educators and Managers Union, Stephen Green, says they believe they've reached an amicable resolution for now.
Well, for the principals, vice principals, and senior master mistresses to be on premises today, some of the agreements were made under the seal with the Ministry of Education because they control certain aspects of it. For example, the payment of the outstanding allowances, the posting of the geographical to the accounts of these members who need to now report immediately forthwith to schools and family islands, and those on family islands who have to report either to Nassau or to another family island. Those payments are the responsibility and duty and task of the Ministry of Education. And so they would have assured us that they would have met with finance. We were told that it went as far as the minister, the prime minister, who would have given the approval. And I know some of the payments were made last week. And so we expect that those payments would continue for the clothing allowance, but the geographical, to our knowledge, only 2 members of the 11 received geographical, and even in those instances, it was not in accordance with the industrial agreement. And so at this point, it concerns us because these persons would have been serving as principals, and already we're all aware that schools were short while they were serving. That's just now that added to the existing shortage.
Well, with students and teachers making their way back into the classroom after summer, the Education Minister, Glenys Hannah Martin, says her ministry has made significant strides over the past 4 years, but she says challenges remain, especially in critical subjects like mathematics. In her back-to-school message on Sunday evening, Hannah Martin stressing key successes, including getting students back into the classroom post-COVID-19, launching the government's school breakfast program, and reducing violent incidents on campus. However, she's also pointing to the latest national exam results, noting that while some students are excelling, others continue to struggle, emphasizing the need for ongoing reforms to ensure every student has the opportunity to succeed.
8.8% of students sitting 5 or more exams received a grade of C or higher. For BGCSEs, 37.2% achieved this standard. Simultaneously, the overall GPA has risen from 2.18 to 2.24, with 1,190 fewer students in our lowest performing category. These figures tell a profound story about young Bahamians across our archipelago. Notably, 70% of our top-performing schools are family island schools, reminding us that excellence exists across our entire nation.
Hannah Martin is also reporting a major drop in school violence, with incidents declining by some 40% in the last academic year compared to last year. The education minister crediting the decrease to the deployment of trained school resource officers, police officers stationed on campuses to act as mentors and also role models.
199 in the 2022-2023 school year to 178 in the 2024-2025 school year. Stabbings have been eliminated entirely, from 11 in the fall of 2022 to 0 in the most recent terms. Drug possession decreased by 51% and knife possession by 82%. For those students who commit infractions that result in suspension, the ministry has reworked its strategies and interventions at Program Shore and TAPS to include curriculum changes and therapeutic approaches, as many of our young people, for various reasons, face varying levels of dysfunctionality that we are working to address holistically.
Meantime, the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas turning up the pressure tonight on the University of the Bahamas, calling on UB leadership to immediately honor agreements made with faculty members. In this report tonight, our Devontae Hannah shares how weeks of dialogue turned into a potential protest today.
Solidarity forever! Solidarity forever!
That chant rang out in front of the University of the Bahamas' campus this morning as just 2 weeks into the fall semester, dozens of faculty from the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas gathered to call out reported inaction at the hands of the institution's leadership. UTAB President Daniel Thompson explained.
But the damage was done before Blaine came. Janine Horner, the former president, had already done her damage. She had done her appointments clandestinely. She had changed certain policies from April without discussion.
The union's gripe stems from the accreditation process now streamlining courses being taught at UB. It means professors can only instruct courses that align with their degrees, meaning some would take on a course load to make up for where others are, in some cases, not teaching at all.
For almost 30 years at an institution and haven't taught a course, and now you're being transferred and you're sitting there in isolation, no communication from the institution, though we have already negotiated, we have agreed the next step, and there's inaction.
Days before the semester started on August 25th, Thompson originally claimed that the relationship between UTAB and Dr. Blaine were in a good place. Today, he blames rogue element in Dr. Blaine's administration, bringing them to brave the intense heat today.
It is his job as the president to weed out those elements, to ensure that our members are not impacted negatively. And the negative impact on our members is because of the inaction of his executive, because of the inaction of those rogue elements, causing problems for our members. And those things must be addressed if we're going to move forward towards accreditation.
And this situation undoubtedly affecting the key stakeholders, the students that are here at the University of the Bahamas. And after several meetings with UB President Dr. Blaine, SGA President Edward Walden says that he was assured that the issue will be worked out efficiently and assiduously.
President Blaine did call, and we'll be meeting with him at 1:30 this afternoon. And at that meeting, we expect him to produce to us the letters that were promised, and then we'll continue our discussion.
Following that meeting, a joint statement between UB and UTAB revealed both sides successfully resolved the outstanding issues, and formal letters are being sent to affected faculty by this evening. Devontae Hannah, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Devontae. Meantime, members of the Bahamas Union of Auxiliary Professionals in Education at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute say they've been left feeling disenfranchised. This according to President Ernesto Williams, who claims employees have been granted contract extensions instead of being made permanent. Williams says this much is owed to the union and they will not stand for anything else.
Several of our employees have continued to serve the institution, have given their service in years, 5, 7, 10, 15 years of service, and the institution has continued to offer them contracts. We would have recently come into agreement in an industrial agreement from 2022, which would have had provisions for our members after they have passed 1 year maximum probationary period with satisfactory performance. They were to be automatically made permanent and pensionable, and the institution stood against that. They went so far as to seek legal intervention in means to give a different interpretation of what that could be. They went even so far again to go behind our backs to our members, offering letters saying that they would offer 1 year, 2 year, 3 year contracts, after we specifically told them in official communications and at the table of discussion that you will not give us what we're asking for, you will give us what we've deserved.
Williams says the union demands respect and will stop at nothing to ensure that their concerns are addressed.
The matter has to be corrected. It has to be corrected. There's more that we as the union are purposed to do, but the matter has to be corrected with swiftness. With swiftness. Executive leadership at the institution, the work that they're doing against employees has to stop immediately. And I'm not asking. It is a waste of money. It is a waste of money. It is a waste of what is, or what I would deem to be, an investment into Bahamian people. And so it has to stop. And it is a clear warning. It is a clear sign. This is a clear sign to individuals who are standing against the progression of Bahamians in this country. We will not allow it.
Well, the board of directors and management at BTVI are pushing back against claims from the union tonight. BTVI says recent statements made by the union and the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas are misleading, particularly on the issue of staff employment status. The unions allege that BTVI is violating its industrial agreement by failing to automatically grant permanent status to employees after a year of probation. But in a statement, BTVI pointed to Clause 17 of the agreement, which says employees, quote, shall be eligible for permanent status, not automatically entitled to it. Management added that the agreement clearly distinguishes between temporary employees and contract workers and does not guarantee permanence after probation. BTVI says it remains committed to fairness, transparency, and due process, and is calling on the unions to return to the bargaining table for open dialogue. More news from the labor front tonight. This time, the government and union officials seem to be on the same page about an issue that is deeply affecting civil workers at an aging government complex now under construction. Our Jose Etienne is on the story tonight.
Dozens of staffers from the Ministry of Health walking off the job on Monday morning in light of what's being described as poor working conditions worsened by ongoing construction efforts at their Meeting Street complex while workers are on the clock. And Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson isn't mincing words, lashing out at the government official allegedly responsible for greenlighting such a move.
We are appealing to the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Colin Higgs, because it appears as if something is happening with the PS's cognitive skills. Construction and productivity can't happen all at the same time.
Eyewitness News saw firsthand what government staffers are struggling with. Men on board scaffolds as they carry out infrastructural upgrades for the building. We also got a view of what appears to be decaying ceilings. Now, Ferguson isn't shying away from the urgency of the renovation project.
We have a very, very leaky roof, and it's now raining in the building. If you were to go inside, you would see the garbage receptacles lined off to catch the waters on the floor. And so we got wet carpet, and it's emanating an odor. And so a lot of people are being impacted by that. And then to compound that, it's enhancing the mold situation here. I advised him to shut down the building until such time as the renovations are complete.
But if the issue persists,
we're going to take some industrial action that's going to be longer than today's action. We need to know what is going to happen for the remainder of the week and the time that would continue while these contractors are in the building.
Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll also speaking out as she's been forced to allow her workers in the public service who occupy the same complex to take the day off, while she says the weathered building is affecting her personally.
Not conditions the staff should be working under. I am currently on my way to have a meeting with the NIB building manager to look for an alternate location for these two ministries. While it was thought that the renovations could happen while the staff occupy the building, clearly that's not the case. As the Minister of Labor, I will not have employees working in conditions that are not decent working conditions, that are not conditions that are humane, and that are conditions that are absolutely uncomfortable for them.
Meanwhile, officials could not say when the renovation project could be completed. However, there are fears that reported issues experienced in recent weeks could slow down the completion of the project. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, as you heard, concerns are growing over unsafe and inhumane working conditions in government buildings. Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll acknowledging the issue after Public Service and Ministry of Health staff walked off the job at the Meeting Street complex, frustrated by the ongoing construction during work hours. And just months earlier, the Registrar General's Department employees raised similar concerns about hazardous conditions, including mold, that reportedly left workers calling in sick. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question tonight: do you think the government has done enough to address unsafe workplace conditions? 2% of participants voting yes, they have. 97% voting no, more needs to be done, and 1% voting that you are not sure. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls. Well, the Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson also taking aim at another issue tonight. He says the reported manpower shortage in custodial staff at the S.C. McPherson Junior High School on Blue Hill Road is a crippling issue that's taking a toll on existing staffers. This as he cautions that the current staff complement could also decrease.
Instead of an increase in staff, the workload on these women behind us would have been increasing, which has become extremely strenuous for them. We would have found that there's been no regard for the human side of them when they would have complained and indicated that they needed help. This situation was something that we had a discussion with the minister from last year, December, regarding the shortage of staff here at S.C. McPherson and across the whole public service in relation to support staff and security officers. We were given the assurance that persons would have been hired to fill the vacancies that exist. We also would have been told that a vetting process was taking place and there was some challenge in that regard. We are now faced with a new school year, and S.C. McPherson hasn't seen one new janitress. And there are at least 3 of them that are about to demit office shortly as a result of them retiring from the public service.
Well, swift action by Bahamas Power and Light is now restoring power to Fresh Creek Andros. This following Sunday's massive power station failure. Thick black smoke engulfing parts of the building as fire destroyed a trailer and a shed, but firefighters were able to contain that blaze before it reached the main generation facility. Bahamas Power and Light officials say that power was restored to Bowman Sound by 3 p.m., Cargill Creek by 10 p.m. on Sunday, Bearing Point restored ahead of schedule today. The Minister of Energy and Transport, JoBeth Colby Davis, the MP for that area, Leon Lundy, Mangrove Key and South and Central Andros, and BPL CEO Tony Seymour, along with other stakeholders on the ground today, assessing that damage. BPL COO Anthony Christie says emergency response teams continue to assess the cause of the fire while working to restore power to the remainder of the island as quickly and safely as possible.
In the meantime, we are bringing in units out of Grand Bahama, some rental units from M&E Limited that should be arriving in Andros at some time this evening. Our teams are coming over as well to do some assessments on the transformers at site to ensure that we can safely restore supply from the Fresh Creek Power Station. There was some damage to our transformer bay, which is why there were some residents that were without power. However, the team worked all day yesterday to restore power up as far as Cargill Creek So the residents of Bearing Point did sleep off last night, but the team is on the ground again this morning working to improve the voltage conditions because we're supplying the entire island now from the Nicholstown Power Station.
Officials add that emergency response teams continue to assess the cause of the fire while working to restore power to the remainder of the island as quickly as possible.
Well, firstly, we'll have our team, our security team, our audit team, in addition to our insurance team. They would send an adjuster who will do an assessment and an investigation to determine the root cause so that we know who needs to be able to be accountable for the damage or in order for us to put in a claim. So those are the initial next steps, and those teams will be mobilizing as we speak to arrive between today and tomorrow. And again, our safety team will also assess in order to make sure that we have enough safety and protection equipment in place for us to go back online with full supply from this power station.
Well, back here in the capital, a weekend fire at a local tow yard, leaving a business owner to pick up the pieces, and nearby residents now raising concerns about safety. The blaze breaking out on Sunday night, sending flames and fire throughout the neighborhood. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details in this report.
Fire trucks filled the area of Adderley Street as Royal Bahamas Police Force patrol officers cornered off the area while residents stepped in with garden hoses and buckets of water as smoke continued to fill the air while flames grew on the property of Gully's 24-hour towing. Eyewitness News revisited the tow yard that went up in flames where the business owner spoke out on the basis of anonymity, revealing he had already closed up shop for the day and received a call telling him the bad news.
There's a fire over in the next property away from us, and it extends from their property over in our property.
Initially, some 4 to 5 cars were on fire, but the owner alleges that the lack of resources on firefighters' behalf caused the blaze to spread rapidly, jeopardizing his 10-year business.
When they go and leave, go get more water, this is what happened. They take about an hour before they get back. When they get back, it was already out of hand.
A resident in the community says she kept a close eye on the fire for a majority of the evening as her family home was at risk of fear that turned reality.
Zoom around, you would notice that there are a lot of trees, there are a lot of homes. This is my worst nightmare come true. I am praying to God that no lives will be lost or people will not lose their home. This is not the time for that.
And with the yard housing a number of derelict vehicles, neighbors say while they understand everyone is hoping to make an honest living, their homes should not be in the firing line.
Everybody have to make a living. It is hard living now, but I do admonish them, be proactive. You know that these are some cars that have been here. You know you can smell fumes when you walk past these vehicles.
Owner of the operation says for him, all eyes are set toward cleanup. And as for a dollar figure of damages, he says it's too early to tell. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
On to some other news tonight. Government and the Pinling family not giving any credibility to allegations made by a convicted drug trafficker, Carlos Leader, who in a recently aired podcast reigniting claims against the father of the nation and the country's first Prime Minister, Sir Lyndon Pinling. Leader, a former major player in the once notorious and fair drug cartel, is claiming that he made lump sum payments, some $150,000 monthly, indirectly to Pinling, the allegations surfacing days after the nation observed Pinling's 25th year death anniversary. Now, the allegations bring back to memory a consequential time in Bahamian history when the country was marred by corruption controversy. At the time, Pinling was under a microscope as United States officials alleged that he played a role in funneling of tons of cocaine into the U.S. Those allegations were denied and never proven.
The British government had just turned over to the African Bahamian population the islands themselves. They became the government. The British left the Bahamas, and the new government was the Prime Minister Lyndon Pinling. So they were, for the first time in their entire life, they were free, independent island. And they decide to be more open about tourism. That enticed me. I managed to open up an island in the Bahamas, and I was able to acquire the island. And that's how I was flying in my cocaine into the United States through my private island in the Bahamas.
Well, tonight a nation remembers 6 years ago when Hurricane Dorian, a record-breaking Category 5 storm, made landfall in Abaco before stalling over Grand Bahama for almost 2 days. It became the most deadliest storm on record in our country. Nearly 100 lives were lost, thousands being displaced. Our Devontae Hannah looking back tonight at the days that changed the country forever.
September 1st, 2019, a date etched into our national memory. Just after noon, Hurricane Dorian roared ashore near Elbow Key, Abaco, a monstrous storm with relentless winds up to 185 miles per hour and devastating storm surge 20 feet tall, leaving entire neighborhoods from Marsh Harbor to Treasure Key flattened.
I've been so scared in my life. I was just ready to go. There was nothing else to do but sit there and wait. Our windows was gone. We was ready. It was just time to go. That's what I thought. I didn't think I would ever see them again.
By the time as the storm had passed, many flocked to the island administrator's building for refuge, food, and clothing, if only for a moment. Hours later, Dorian's eye crawled toward Grand Bahama, then stopped. For nearly 36 hours, the catastrophic storm sat over Freeport and East End, pushing the ocean inland, leaving families clinging to their roof beams for survival, battling neck-deep water while winds howled and trees snapped, and in the dark of the night, and in the aftermath, heartbreak. Buildings gutted, homes destroyed, and hundreds looting to survive. At least 74 people were killed, with hundreds injured and near 300 people still missing. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis called a mandatory evacuation of some areas, which many admittedly didn't follow. After the storm's passage, they were lucky to be alive.
Words can't describe it. Never could describe it. This is something new. We've never experienced it before, and it was terrifying. If we had knew it was this bad, we'd evacuated.
The storm went down in history as the most expensive hurricane in the country on record, costing the government $3.4 billion, a big portion of the country's national debt. However, 6 years later, both islands show resilience, which lives on in every nail driven, every business reopened, and every child back in class. Devontae Hannah, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Devontae. The nation expected to pause to remember those Dorian victims tomorrow morning at 9:30. Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the IO News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. Be sure to hit subscribe. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight. But when we come back, the IL Cares Foundation launches a campaign in support of prostate awareness. We've got that story coming up. And later tonight, the nation's border security strengthens with some new customs officers. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The new crispy barbecue bacon sandwich with barbecue sauce, cheddar, bacon, crispy onions, and an extra large chicken fillet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Stop, man, stop. Boy, it's hot today, boy. Boy. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's snowing. I can cool off, man.
Where you going? Get back here. Don't go in there.
I get inside
there.
there.
I can cook whatever you want tonight. Where you going?
You gonna do what?
I can cook whatever tonight.
I forget you can't cook.
Stop at the heat and enter Skypole. Expert installation, cool comfort, and reliable service. Brought to you by Discount AC and Supplies. Your one-stop shop for top-tier AC units.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Rubis, $5.48. Shell coming in at $5.49. Esso the highest tonight, $5.56. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, as September marks Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, the IL Cares Foundation launching their second annual initiative, All Men Should Know. It's aimed at encouraging early detection and also saving lives. Tonight, we take a closer look at how the campaign is urging men across the country to take charge of their health. Our Laurencia Smith has the details.
Prostate cancer is the leading cancer among Bahamian men, and each year as many as 100 new cases are recorded through the public healthcare system. This September, the IL Cares Foundation is again sounding the alarm with the return of its All Men Should Know prostate screening campaign. Founder of the foundation, His Excellency Sebastian Bastian, says the numbers prove screenings are saving lives.
533 men showed up to get that screening. As you know, things like prostate cancer is one of the most popular illnesses amongst men. If these things are caught early, they are not just treatable, but they're also beatable. So we want to encourage all the men out there to take advantage of this initiative.
Under the program, all male Island Luck card holders, nearly half of the foundation's membership, can get screened for free of charge at Eden Wells and Bahamas Wellness Center through September 30th. Consultant urologist Dr. Robin Roberts warns that obesity, poor diet, and lack of exercise are driving up the risk for prostate cancer.
So now, having said that, I want to say that she's so right, that prostate cancer is not only curable in early detection, okay? And even in men who present with advanced disease, today we have very excellent medication that even with advanced disease, where the cancer spreads throughout the body, that we have been able to reverse the spread of cancer.
Men will be tested using the Prostate Specific Antigen, or PSA, a simple examination that normally costs around $45. However, Brittany Major, head of laboratory services at Eden Well, notes that this month that cost will be completely eliminated.
We'll take a blood sample. They will be in and out within 10 minutes. And results will be back within 2 to 3 business days. We will also be providing a PSA fact sheet, which will include basic information on what the PSA test actually, the importance of it, what it entails.
And with Bahamas Wellness also signing on, 100 free tests are now available at its Eleuthera clinics. Representative Diane Phillips is calling the initiative a critical step in saving lives.
Bahamas Wellness. What we're going to do with the 4 clinics in Eleuthera is we are going to send representatives out to make sure that the men are tested. We'll send them to construction sites, we'll send them to bars, we'll send them to restaurants, we'll send them wherever we need to send them if they don't come to us.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, following a photo circulating on social media alleging that two pilots were involved in a physical altercation inside a cockpit of a Bahamas Air flight while passengers were still on board, Bahamas Air issuing a statement on the issue addressing the claims and also to clarify the situation. The airline says that during a pre-departure procedure at Marsh Harbor Airport, a situation arose involving the flight crew. According to Bahamas Air, the issue was promptly addressed and the crew members involved were replaced before the flight took off. The airline emphasizing its commitment to safety and professionalism, stressing that these kinds of matters are handled swiftly to ensure that customers and their well-being remain a priority. Well, the Bahamas Customs and Excise Department set to expand significantly with nearly 100 new officers officially beginning their new journeys today. The recruits are embarking on a months-long training program aimed at strengthening the nation's border and financial security. Our Delano Roker has the details tonight.
A room filled with 92 hopefuls, standing tall, uniformed, and determined. These new recruits are preparing to become the nation's frontline defense against smuggling, corruption, and financial misconduct. Today at the Department of Customs, the induction ceremony marked the beginning of a 6-month intensive training program. Comptroller of Customs Ralph Monroe says the move comes at a critical time.
As you can see, we are presently understaffed. We've got places like Coco Key by Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. We've got Great Stirrup Key by Norwegian Cruise Line. We just opened Ocean Key on April 10th, Princess Key. We've got Gorda Key in Abaco. We've got Disney down in Saudi Lutra, Half Moon Key. I mean, any number from all of these places should really be manned by Customs. We sometime there, but we are not there around the clock as we should be. To give the kind of protection that we need to be in all of these places and more at any given time.
The role of a customs officer extends beyond inspecting cargo. It's a critical safeguard tracking narcotics, enforcing tariffs, and maintaining accurate financial records that underpin the country's economy. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Alquita says this latest intake is a step in the right direction.
It's very important as our economy continues to expand and you see expansion in the family islands and more activity in various family islands that we have our officials on the ground.
As the global landscape continues to shift with trade disputes and financial crimes on the rise, customs officers are being called to do more than ever before. Monroe adds, these new officers will also be instrumental in ensuring tariff compliance and upholding the Bahamas' financial integrity.
As it relates to the Tariff Act, a person's going to have to learn how to interpret things in the tariff, interpretation, classification of goods, and of course the corresponding rate that must be applied to those goods upon entry into the Bahamas. In addition to the Tariff Act, of course, we've got the Excise Act. Other than customs duty, you've got excise duty, and so the tariff for the most part is going to be that legislation where officers are going to have to learn classification, which can be sometimes very tricky.
Among the new faces are 21-year-old Trinity Hyler and 19-year-old Houston Roll, both proud to serve and ready to meet the challenge.
Customs was always something that I wanted to do, but my mother really pushed me to apply and push myself, and she's no longer here anymore, so doing it for her.
To be honest, I spent the summer here in 2023. The 2023 summer was good, and then I applied to be a clerical staff. I worked in accounts for a year. Tomorrow make a year, but I decided to transfer over because I just want to get more into customs, so I get further more in life. But my long-term goal is to stay at customs.
These 92 recruits will now enter months of rigorous training in everything from legal procedures to physical readiness. By the next year, they're expected to be fully deployed, strengthening the customs operations across the country. Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, over the weekend, a troubling incident taking place on Queens Highway Holmes Rock over in Grand Bahama, leaving Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain and members of the coalition raising concern about the details surrounding that incident via Facebook Live. While law enforcement is calling it a traffic-related death, Bain and others say that there may be more to the story, suggesting that the incident could potentially be the result of foul play. They question the details surrounding the incident, stating that the available evidence does not align with a typical traffic fatality.
When we went to the scene, we were concerned with a few things, that we could see that there were 2 vehicles involved because there were 4 tire tracks, and that concerned us. Like there were 2 vehicles, one in front of the other, headed towards the lamppost. One went to the lamppost, and the other one we could see tracks where that veered off and went back onto the road. And so that concerned us that there was someone else involved. And when we investigated further, we saw that there was blood on the lamppost. And that's concerning because the victim was in the car at all times. The windshield was not shattered, well, not totally broken so that blood could come out of the car. So there was no reason the blood should be on the parts for the front grille of the car, on the ground, and on the lamppost. That was very concerning to us. After further investigations from persons who was on the scene, we were informed that the injuries were not to the front of his body, to his face. That is consistent with an accident, that these injuries were to the back of his head. And so we were extremely concerned with that.
While Bahamas Police Force Assistant Commissioner of Police Edvardo Dames, who's currently overseeing operations in Grand Bahama and the Northern Bahamas, he's responding to claims. He confirms that investigations are still ongoing. He assured the public that authorities are actively reviewing all of the information available.
Upon inspection of a vehicle, a gold-colored Buick vehicle, the officers discovered the lifeless body of a male. This vehicle came to rest at a utility pole, and the vehicle had extensive damages to it. Upon inspecting the lifeless male, he had apparent injuries to the body. This matter is being treated at this time as a traffic fatality, and to determine the exact cause of death, an autopsy will be performed, and we will have conclusive information as to the cause of death. If there's anyone who has information as to this particular traffic accident, I'm advising those individuals to come forward to the police. They can go to any local police station and give this information.
Well, police on Grand Bahama investigating a shop-breaking incident on Queens Highway. Officers were reportedly called to the scene shortly before 9 on Sunday night. As there, they say they found damage to the roof of an establishment. Preliminary reports reveal that someone gained entry between Saturday and Sunday and allegedly stole seafood worth more than $20,000. Police are urging anyone with information to contact them at 911, 919, or the nearest police station on Grand Bahama. Tips can also be made anonymously at Crime Stoppers 328. Tips. Back here in the capital, police are investigating a jet ski incident off of Paradise Island that took place around 6:30 on Sunday evening. According to reports, 2 American men ages 42 and 29 were riding a jet ski when they reportedly lost control, slamming into a dock near a resort. Emergency medical services responded, treating both men at the scene. They, however, later declined additional treatment at hospital. According to police, say their investigations are continuing tonight. Police here in the capital also probing another shooting incident, this one taking place shortly after 11 on Sunday night in the Gamble Heights area. That's off of Blue Hill Road. Officers responding to reports of gunfire discovered a 24-year-old man with an apparent gunshot injury. He was rushed to hospital by ambulance. He's listed in stable condition tonight. The circumstances surrounding that incident remain unknown. Police are urging anyone with information to contact them, 911, 919, or 328. Tips. Still talking news from Grand Bahama tonight. The opposition once again demanding answers over the stalled Grand Lucayan Hotel in Freeport, citing delays, unpaid vendors, and a continued drain on public resources. Shadow Finance Minister and East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson, in a statement, called for transparency and accountability on the high-profile project, which he has noted has seen little progress since the deal was announced earlier this year. The deal was trumpeted with great fanfare, yet months later, it remains stalled, marred in silence, and continues to fail the Bahamian people. That, according to Thompson. From the onset, the opposition has raised some critical questions, like why hasn't the demolition begun? Why has the hotel quietly extended reservations into December? And how does this affect the promised demolition timeline? Also, who's responsible for paying the hotel's vendors and suppliers, and why are hardworking Bahamian businesses still owed hundreds of thousands of dollars? Is it even true, as it has been reported, that the hotel owes thousands to the very security company charged with protecting the property? These are not small matters. Local vendors, contractors, and small businesses are being left in the cold while the government remains silent. This is disgraceful, end quote, according to Thompson. Thompson also highlighting fiscal concerns, noting that earlier this year, the Office of the Prime Minister declared that from this point forward, all expenses associated with the property will be assumed by the developer. This is a significant shift in fiscal responsibility, as the government has been paying approximately $1.5 million per month over the last 3 years, amounting to an estimated $63 million in holding cost. So to come in Eyewitness News tonight, a local doctor shedding light on an often overlooked cancer. We've got the details, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Man, I been at this for hours, wait, trying to find this bucket list bliss treasure everybody talking about. Finally, Miko, you still out here digging for treasure like you was pirates? You out here sweating like you fighting for your life? Only thing you doing is putting sand in my drink, Miko. Miko!
Good news! You don't have to dig for this treasure. Just apply and get approved for a BOB loan or credit card, and you're in to win a trip of a lifetime. Plus other great prizes like water park passes, restaurant vouchers, and VIP movie tickets. Get approved and you could be living large. And you could be living large in Las Vegas, striking a pose in Paris, catching a cab in New York, twisted spaghetti in Rome, looking royal in London, or shopping in Panama.
X marks the spot, and it's right here at BOB. And don't forget to get a loan with my name too, because I'm gonna ruin Miko.
Apply today for a BOB loan or Visa credit card. Win the trip of a lifetime, plus weekly prizes. Email loans@bankbahamas.com.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles.
Because I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day. Log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Pain hits fast, so get relief fast. Only Tylenol Rapid Release Gels have laser-drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. And now, get Max Strength Topical Pain Relief precisely where you need it with Tylenol Precise.
I can clean your teeth, but I can't wash your whole mouth.
Yes, we're toothbrushes, not mouth brushes.
Listerine works with brushing to deliver 5 times more cleaning power, plus it contains clinically proven essential oils.
For whole mouth health, Listerine. Wash your mouth.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. While September marks a return to school for many families, it also carries another important reminder. It's Blood Cancer Awareness Month. A local oncologist is using this time to shed light on the often overlooked disease and why keeping proper medical records could make all the difference in early detection. Delano Roker has the details.
As cancer diagnoses continue to rise globally, local hematologist Dr. Devon Curling is sounding the alarm on misconceptions and data when it comes to blood-related cancers.
If we look in the Bahamas, probably
The most common types of blood cancers would be multiple myeloma, and along with that would also be lymphomas, both Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's. We do see leukemias, but not as often as those two.
Blood cancers are often overshadowed by more publicized cancers, like breast or prostate cancer, but they are very much present here in the Bahamas.
If you have a family member that has a history of a particular type of blood cancer, you are at slightly increased risk, but for the most part, blood cancers aren't really things that are inheritable. Exposure to radiation can increase your risk. Exposure to chemotherapeutic agents can actually increase your risk. Lifestyle things like smoking, that can also increase your risk. The number one risk factor is really aging. As we get older, then the risk of developing blood cancers goes up.
According to Curling, certain warning signs should not be ignored.
To look out for that could be a hint that you might be getting something. If you're becoming more and more fatigued, and it's unexplained, if you're having unexplained weight loss, fever, chills, night sweats, those are what we call B symptoms. So if you know that you're waking up in the middle of the night and your sheets are drenched, that could be a sign that you have some type of blood cancer.
Curling also stresses the importance of primary health care and maintaining up-to-date medical records, especially in a region where patients often delay seeking care.
The take-home message is primary care, primary care, primary care. Do your proper screening. Do your lab work. Don't be afraid. If you see something wrong, go to your doctor. And if we can follow those simple rules and change our lifestyle, exercise, stop the smoking, things would be a lot better here and people would live a lot longer.
While Blood Cancer Awareness Month continues, Dr. Curling hopes Bahamians will take the time to educate themselves, schedule routine checkups, and understand that when it comes to cancer, silence isn't golden. Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Delano. Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janaea. The countdown is on to the World Athletics Championships over in Tokyo. And Eyewitness Sports had a chance to speak with Team Bahamas head coach. I'll share more of that interview straight ahead in sports.
For every shape-up, after-school activity, unplanned home repair, and other day-to-day spending, there's SandDollar. SandDollar is a convenient way to send and receive money instantly. SandDollar is easy to use, it's safe and secure. Just like physical cash, SandDollar is issued by the Central Bank of the Bahamas, and best of all, there are no fees for individuals to send or receive funds. Download a SandDollar enabled digital wallet and enjoy the benefits of the digital Bahamian dollar. Spend it locally. Transfer it to and from a local bank account or convert it to and from physical cash. Learn more at www.sanddollar.bs.
Before that school bell rings, you need to pay a visit to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. See best tuna, 5 ounces, 85 cents. Best value whole kernel corn, 15 ounces, 99 cents. Sweet Gala apples, 3 for $1. Pretty Lady red or green seedless grapes, $3.99 per pound. Baby back spare ribs, $2.99 per pound. Boneless chicken breasts, $2.79 per pound. Save on school snacks and supplies at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Make every moment unforgettable with Shop Smart. From colorful floaties and water guns to light vests that keep fun safe, we've got everything you need to dive into the season. Planning a beach picnic? We've got the cutest sets and coolest bubbles to bring the vibes. And don't forget our trendy swimwear for all ages. Summer starts here, only at Shop Smart. Your Miracle, number 122 Matthew Street.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off tonight, we're trackside as the B3A has named the team that will suit up to represent the 242 at the World Athletics Outdoor Championships in Tokyo. The squad includes some of the country's top Olympians and rising collegiate athletes. Head coach Tito Moss expressed confidence in the 15-member team, describing it as both diverse and talented. He says he expects strong performances from standout athletes like veterans Anthony Strawn and Donald Thomas, as well as Javonia Volcott, Ian Kerr, and Batassia Johnson. The coaching staff include Darren Lyburns for sprints and hurdles, Corrington Maycock for throwers, and Jason Edwards overseeing the jumps.
We have a good mixture. We have three hurdlers that will be a part of this team. Devin, Charisma, Danisha. We have representation in both short sprints by Terrence Jones, Camille Rutherford, and Anthea Charlton. This will be her first senior World Outdoor Championships. We also have throwers. We have two javelin throwers, Raymond Otterbar and also Keyshawn Strawn. And we also have Kendrick Thompson who will be representing in the decathlon. So we have a very good mix of youth. We have a good mixture of diversity. We have hurdlers, we have throwers, we have Kiwan in the triple jump, and we have sprinters. So we have a very diverse team, a very dynamic team.
Now notably missing from this year's squad is Olympians Stephen Gardner and Shawnee Miller-Weebo.
They are probably some of our most decorated seniors and who have represented well, and I think both have won world championships prior to. So this year they're absent. But we expect that to see both of them back on the world stage next year. I think both of them are nursing some slight injuries, and that probably prohibit them from being the very best. Stephen Gardner got an invite, but he opted out. And I think Ms. Shawnee Miller-Weebo just getting back to form, and she was just shy of meeting the outright qualifying standard.
Now the championships are set from the 13th to the 21st over in Tokyo. Now sailing across the high seas, the Bahamas Chinese Dragon Boat Association hosted the 4th Annual International Dragon Boat Festival this past weekend. The event hosted over at the Goodman's Bay Beach featured both local and international teams with a new champion crowned. The teams battled in several divisions with races ranging from 200 to 500 meters. The King Tides men team won the major mixed 200 finals in a time of a minute .601.8 seconds. Also took gold in the open 500 meter event with a time of 2 minutes 57.60 seconds. The High Tide women's team finished first in the women's 200 meters final, clocking a time of a minute .14.34 seconds. The Rattlers junior team claimed the 18U division with a time of a minute .71.95 seconds. Draco Regs took the Division A Open 200-meter finals in a time of a minute 3.18 seconds. The Sand Dragons Open team won Division B 200-meter final in a time of a minute .06.71 seconds. The Buccaneers finished first in the Division C Open 200-meter finals, clocking a time of a minute .06.83 seconds. Congratulations to all of the winners from us here at Eyewitness Sports. Maybe next year I'll get in on the action. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Ready to insure your ride? Our new website is ready for you. Visit jsjohnson.com. Select coverages, go to Motor, and click Get a Quote. We've made it easier than ever to request a quote online. Fill in all the required fields. When you're done, hit Submit. You'll receive a response via email within 24 hours. Visit jsjohnson.com today.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Thembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news at this hour, but coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, a full look at all of today's top stories with a lively panel. That's coming up. And Beyond the Headlines starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training is on a mission to hire the best and brightest teachers to help shape our nation's future. During the first ever job fair for teachers hosted by the ministry in collaboration with the Department of Labor, Education Minister Glenys Hanna Martin underscored the importance of inclusive and quality education for all students.
But when we say every child counts, we mean that. We mean that. If it's special needs, if it's a child in program, sure. Yeah. We don't give up on our children. We don't do it. We don't do it. So when you're in the classroom, those of you who will be successful, that's the expectation. That's the expectation, that the centerpiece of your effort and your energy are these children.
The ministry is also seeking specialized teachers as it expands its focus on career and technical education, ensuring that all students are job ready.
Coming out of our strategic goal planning, we came up with access, providing access, quality, holistic, and ensuring that our students are globally competitive. So that means we must cater to the needs of all of our students. That includes our technical students, those who are more hands-on. And so we are looking for officers who can assist us in that area. We have the Polytechnic School that will be established in September of this year, where there's specialized training for those students in the technical areas. So we need persons to fill that area.
We are looking for teachers. We are looking for the best and brightest that will add to our pool of teachers. And so we are hoping during this recruitment fair that we'll find quality teachers, as I stated earlier, the best and brightest teachers that will be able to fill the needs within our school.
Jonalee McIntosh for Ed Talk.
Has expanded their testing menu.
We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training is on a mission to hire the best and brightest teachers to help shape our nation's future. During the first ever job fair for teachers hosted by the ministry in collaboration with the Department of Labor, Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin underscored the importance of inclusive and quality education for all students.
But when we say every child counts, we mean that. We mean that. If it's special needs, if it's a child in program, sure. Yeah. We don't give up on our children. We don't do it. We don't do it. So when you're in the classroom, those of you who will be successful, that's the expectation. That's the expectation that the centerpiece of your effort and your energy are these children.
The ministry is also seeking specialized teachers as it expands its focus on career and technical education, ensuring that all students are job ready.
Coming out of our strategic goal planning, we came up with access, providing access, quality, holistic, and ensuring that our students are globally competitive. So that means we must cater to the needs of all of our students. That include our technical students, those who are more hands-on. And so we are looking for officers who can assist us in that area. We have the Polytechnic School that will be established in September of this year, where there's specialized training for those students in the technical areas. So we need persons to fill that area. We are looking for teachers. We are looking for the best and brightest that will add to our pool of teachers. And so we are hoping during this recruitment fair that we'll find quality teachers, as I stated earlier, the best and brightest teachers that will be able to fill the needs within our school.
Jonalee McIntosh for Ed Talk.
thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Good evening. Coming up tonight, industrial action prominent today, especially on the education front. University of Bahamas professors and BTVI staff protesting to get outstanding matters addressed. Meanwhile, Ministry of Health workers took to the pavement today. They say working conditions at the ministry's headquarters are unsafe and they're not prepared to work. Also tonight, did you hear of the two pilots who fought in the cockpit? And it seems it spilled out of the cockpit because passengers captured an image. You all saw it on social media. We'll tell you what Bahamas Air did in response. That's right, it's Bahamas Air flight. Pressure tall, I tell you that. Ain't nobody need to see that in the air, that's for sure. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. The Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas is turning up the pressure on the University of the Bahamas, calling on UB leadership to immediately honor agreements made with faculty members. Well, today's protest followed weeks of talks that went nowhere. Joining me this evening is the president of the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas, Daniel Thompson. And Mr. Thompson, good evening to you. It's good to have you here. I understand that it's good news. You are just actually from out of a meeting and things have turned very quickly. Good evening and welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening. Good evening, Miller. Yes, so we just came out of 3 hours of deliberations and negotiations with the president of the university, Dr. Blaine. And as a result of that meeting, the outstanding matters that we were very concerned about all were addressed. And in fact, while I was waiting here, my phone was beeping because the letters were going out to our members. And so that is good news in that regard. Very good news, especially as we begin the semester. This is actually our second week at the university, and we needed things to really normalize
very quickly.
Yes.
Because the issue that had just built to this point were where professors found themselves with less classes and students would have been complaining and having issues because the qualifications, which you say it's a real difficult matter to understand, so we would not necessarily go in there in that direction.
Yeah, it's a matter of alignment, and you add to that we have our largest enrollment ever. 2,000 freshmen came in, so that really complicated the problem in terms of needing additional classrooms, needing additional faculty to teach those classes for first-year students.
Now, are Bahamian professors credentialed? I know that was a part of it, and is the university, first question maybe, is it fully credentialed?
Well, as the university seeks accreditation through the SACS accreditation system, it is a different approach to our credential than we have had in the past. Their approach is more narrow rather than broad. In other words, you may have been credentialed in an area in biology or in English to teach perhaps English language and literature or a variety of areas in that. But now with the credentialing, they're saying that you're restricted only to teach English, or you can only teach business management as opposed to marketing or other management classes. So it's really a more restrictive form of alignment. So you're trying to align persons' academic qualification more specifically.
Does that help the university further though in meeting where it's trying to go? I mean, how does that, because obviously it's putting a squeeze on staff and maybe squeezing them out of certain areas that they've been in. But what does it benefit the
Well,
overall university and sort of getting lessons done and these degrees that are to be transferred and accepted elsewhere?
Yes, because our faculty consists of very qualified individuals who have attended the best institutions in the world. And most of them have a terminally degree, but at least have a master's degree. It is very easy in those cases to, if you have to re-credential them or align them, you can align them to their specific discipline. So it's not an issue of the quality of their credentials. It's a matter of the specificity, making it very specific. I would quote me as an example. I'm an agricultural economist, having been educated at the University of Reading in the United Kingdom. And so while my background and experience has been in management, having led many organizations in the past, yet because my credential is in agroeconomics, I have been restricted to teach economics classes. That's the type of thing. Previously, I would have been able to, based on my experience, teach other management classes because I was involved in project development, small business management, working at the development bank, the AIC. I was able to teach in management classes. Now with this re-credentialing, they're saying that you must restrict your teaching only to economics.
But doesn't that rob the university and the students of a more broader experience? Because after all, that is what university is about. It's about having this wonderful, vast knowledge in your classes to single you and put you in where you are actually degreed versus where your experience and your degree could further take you to bring more enrichment and cause to bring about critical thinking and thought. Isn't the university robbing the student of that full experience?
Yes, I would agree, because even with the SOX accreditation process, experience, other licensures are also important components in credentialing persons. Okay, and so when you take someone with a master's degree in management versus someone who has been a CEO of a major organization in the Bahamas for 15 years, and you bring someone who got an MBA last year, you're looking at two different experience for our students.
Yes.
And we are hoping that the university will come back to those, including experiences and other certifications in the credentialing process. But what they're saying is that at this point is that you must first have the master's, and then we will look at the experiences.
So this is not a situation where our professors, meaning Bahamian professors, are falling down and are not meeting up to the standard. It's just the sort of realigning that the university is going through.
Our persons are the best institutions. We have always hired the best, the brightest, not just Bahamians, but also foreign expatriate faculty. Very qualified, very competent. A lot of them have, I said, terminal degrees, some with two, three master's degrees. Very competent persons we're dealing with. So it's not a matter of quality of the deliverables that is there. It's simply we're realigning you to focus. Now, there's another side to that, because as you become more specific in your realignment, it means that where you would have had one professor teaching in two or three disciplines, you now have three professors.
Yeah.
And then it means that each of them are very restricted in what they teach. So perhaps our faculty complement may have to be doubled over the next few years.
Absolutely.
Now that's good news for UTEB, of course,
It is.
because that's more membership in UTEB.
Yes.
But does the university and does the government have the appetite to double UB's budget? Those are the questions that we must answer as a people, because of the implication as we be very more restrictive in our alignment process.
And again, you at the risk of robbing the student of that full experience in each class, I feel as though it's cheapening the process, because that's what university is all about. You go to have this wonderful experience where you go in this class and you actually learn more than you bargained for in terms of what that class actually is. It always is that. It gives the opportunity for that student to really see the world through what is being taught by that professor.
The experience of the professors, their experience is critical. In fact, when the university went about trying to tighten up their belt, so to speak, I use the expression, they didn't just remove the fat, they remove a lot of the meat with the fat. And so in doing that, they are robbing our students of having persons with real industry experience. But and because it happens in the U.S., at other SACS accredited institutions, professors teach based on their experience. And that was our process when we engaged the process a year ago. But the university did a change so that no longer they're doing that, because they are trying to create a really tight system to ensure they're successful in this accreditation process.
How long does an accreditation process take? Because we've been hearing about, first of all, the name was, you all got that name quite a minute ago now, and we figured everything was done. I mean, it's a full-out university, it's accredited, everything, but yet we now understand the accreditation process is ongoing.
Yes, and sometimes 5, 6, 10 years it can take for the entire process, and then it's always renewed. Every 5 or 10 years there are renewal process. But UTEB's position is that the decision for accreditation is not a trade union matter. It's a matter that executives of the institution, the policymakers at the institutions make. UTEB's position is that when you engage in accreditation, we must ensure that any policies, any conditions you sign on to are consistent with our industrial agreement.
Yes. Now, also today, another tertiary education system, the Bahamas Vocational Technical Institute, BTVI, also protested. Members of these ones were members of the Bahamas Union of Auxiliary Professionals in Education at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute. They say that they have been feeling disenfranchised. This according to President Ernesto Williams, who claims employees have been granted contract extensions instead of being made permanent. BTVI seem to be going through a lot recently. Williams says this is much owed to the union and they will not stand for anything else.
Several of our employees have continued to serve the institution, have given their service in years, 5, 7, 10, 15 years of service, and the institution has continued to offer them contracts. We would have recently come into agreement in an industrial agreement from 2022, which would have had provisions for our members after they have passed 1 year maximum probationary period with satisfactory performance. They were to be automatically made permanent and pensionable, and the institution stood against that. They went so far as to seek legal intervention in means to give a different interpretation of what that could be. They went even so far again to go behind our backs to our members, offering letters saying that they would offer 1 year, 2 year, 3 year contracts, after we specifically told them in official communications and at the table of discussion that you will not give us what we're asking for, you will give us what we've deserved. The matter has to be corrected. It has to be corrected. There's more that we as the union are purposed to do, but the matter has to be corrected with swiftness. With swiftness. Executive leadership at the institution, the work that they're doing against employees has to stop immediately. And I'm not asking. It is a waste of money. It is a waste of money. It is a waste of what I would deem to be an investment into Bahamian people. And so it has to stop. And it is a clear warning. It is a clear sign. This is a clear sign to individuals who are standing against the progression of Bahamians in this country. We will not allow it.
Williams, president of the union at BTVI, joining you, in fact, today on the Union of University of the Bahamas, talking about initially the fact that many people who have put in years at BTVI are being put or asked to or being rerouted to contracts.
You're aware that BTVI also is represented by UTEB as well. We represent the faculty. Ernesto and BUAP represent the staff, and that's why we stood together.
Okay.
And what is happening to BUAP is also happening to our members. And it's so unfortunate that organizations would engage in trying to stop workers from being permanent. Permanent and establishment positions are important for going to the bank. If you have a 2-year contract, you can't get no loan to get a car. So these
your life can't move forward.
Yes, and so and then our industrial agreement states that people would be made permanent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really unfortunate the board of directors they have engaged in violating the industrial agreement of both BUAP and BTVI.
Well, has the union met and spoken with the board to let them know that, listen, this isn't the way life is done. It isn't bring about quality of life for those workers and professors at BTVI, and that the persons need, as you said, armed with everything they need as they work daily, then they need what is necessary to move their lives forward, which is permanent and pensionable, which is obviously being positioned in a way that they can go to financial institutions and so on.
We have been talking for over a year. We had given the board a time frame which expired from January. We have been back and forth, and even up to last week, we wrote to the president and said we wish to talk. She said she's busy trying to get school started and she can't.
This president has seemed very resistant for quite some time now. There's been one and in fact numerous protests against her. What is happening there? Is she the stumbling block?
She is one of the stumbling blocks, but I opine that many persons have not gotten the memo from the government in terms of the government's attitude towards workers. But if the government becomes complicit, if they allow her to remain to stifle workers.
But why do you suppose she's being allowed to remain? Because again, this is not the first protest. While this one was pointedly directed in the way of saying, listen, take these people off of contracts and make them permanent employees, the point is, though, there's always been a finger pointing at this president.
Yes, and the time of her departure is near, but it's not soon enough.
You feel as though that then things will kind of operate at BTVI the way they should?
I think that there is, sometimes you know the devil you have, but you don't know what you may get. I understand that, but this one needs to move because it's the callous attitude towards workers and the disregard towards Bahamian workers is not acceptable.
No, I agree with you. It quite is very, very much unacceptable.
And that's all the workers, That's all the students were coming too. That's all the.
Well, no. If the students join in, the professors and the support staff and the workers and everybody else, then obviously that you all must shine a microscope or put the microscope on the president.
But this has been shining for a long time. Who
is ignoring it?
Those who have the power to make the difference.
The Ministry of Education?
Yes, the Ministry of Education ignoring. She has a board of directors in the first instance.
So why is the board ignoring what people have been screaming now for the longest while? The president is the issue. The president is the issue, and then the board. Because if you all can't do what you're all supposed to do, then all of you are ill-placed.
Well, that's your comment. I perhaps may agree with you, but that.
That's my comment. It's just, we've seen several, in fact, that's putting it very conservatively, protests as it relates to BTVI and any number of issues happening there. But, we will continue to follow this. Happy that you all got your situation sorted out at the University of the Bahamas. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that with us. I just came out of hours-long meeting, and he just said that at the top of tonight's show. University of the Bahamas got their situation sorted out. Now, BTVI is another matter. We will continue to follow that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Absolutely, Mr. Thompson. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for being here this evening. When we come back, did you hear of the fight on Bahamas Air? Not 2 passengers. No. 2 pilots. That's exactly, you heard me right. We're back right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love.
However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eating well.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Wise Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. A photo circulating on social media alleges that two pilots were involved in a physical altercation inside the cockpit of a Bahamas Air flight while passengers were still on board that aircraft. Bahamas Air has since issued a statement to address the claims and clarify the situation. The airline says that during a pre-departure procedure at Marsh Harbor Airport, a situation arose involving the flight crew. According to Bahamas Air, the issue was promptly addressed and the crew members involved were replaced before the flight took off. The airline emphasized its commitment to safety and professionalism, stressing that these kinds of matters are handled swiftly to ensure that customer well-being remains a priority. Well, we're going to jump in right there this evening. Why not start right there? Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. BTH contributors Candice Scott and Glenroy Pratt. Peggy, Candice, and Glenroy Pratt. It's good to have you both here. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Good to be here.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Your thoughts, Peggy and Glenroy, about, I mean, obviously, Bahamas Air must be a real stressful place to work when you have pilots whose job it is, a part of it is to remain calm and exhibit this manner of professionalism and that they can come to fists. I mean, they just can come to blows with each other over what? What could have been that serious on the job and getting ready to go in the air?
We don't just fly here. We fight here too. You know, I mean, at least they fighting on land. But you know what? To make it serious note, though, I'm glad they didn't fight in the air, though. Could you imagine if things have gotten out of control out when they were in the air? You know, I mean, and tempers sometimes fly high, and you know, the young people say pressure talk. You know?
I was wondering if pressure was real. Obviously, it was. You know.
Yeah, we gotta really, you know, we do have I don't know if you ever ride around and look at people's faces and look at the temperature in this
It's
country.
an angry
People
society.
angry.
And that is so off-putting to Bahamians, for this nation. And what we once in the 80s were known as the most friendliest nation on earth, with nice, wonderful, kind people. And we have become, just the opposite. People are angry. I saw just yesterday as I was going to a church, to visit there, this lady walking in, her face looked like a thunderstorm. And I was like, why can't we walk around more pleasant?
Yeah.
Shanique, I am glad that it's reported, good evening, Bahamas, that Bahamas had dealt with it immediately, because when you get on a plane, you want to be confident that all is well with the pilots. And this story will make you now question, they could fight today?
Yeah.
Yeah, And so the Bahamian, we talk about them being angry, but human beings, we have so much faith. We just don't know how much. We just put faith sometimes in the wrong things and the wrong people. And so when you step on a plane, you have comfort, you just happy, and there's no concern that the pilots are friendly, that they're getting along, that they're drunk, they're sober, they didn't sleep well, they have a flu, and we don't have these things come to our mind. And now this story, you go on Bahamas and you go wonder what can happen today.
Listen to me, you don't want to even imagine that, because it then goes to say who is being hired. How often are they evaluated? And I just don't mean job performance. I'm talking about mental capacity. Are they okay? Are they angry? Are they having an issue with the coworker? Because this is really unacceptable to be there. And Marsh Harbor, unprofessional. Marsh Harbor is one of those hubs where there are Bahamians and tourists flying in and out. And not that tourists are any more significant than Bahamians, but imagine that reputation. Oh, guess what, guys? We were connecting from Marsh Harbor, Abaco to go to New Providence and further, and the pilots got into a fight. And it delayed the flight, because they had to obviously fly other people in to take over the flight. So therefore, that must have been a delay. And just all of this, just putting people out out of their schedules for no reason other than you can't control yourself and you can't control your emotions.
Must have been a nightmare at Bahamas for those managers and those responsible for that airline. But I hope both individuals was fired, because the behavior is totally unacceptable, and the only reassurance you can give your customers is you will never have to contend with these two individuals again.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. I have to punch this guy in the mouth. But one of the things is too, I've been to two businesses in the last probably 2 weeks, right? Food establishments. And one, I was on a line ordering my food, and I could hear a few of the workers arguing amongst themselves. And when I reached the window, I say, you all having a rough day. I could hear you all on this thing. You all sound like things were rough. Then I went to another institution a couple of days later. The gentleman was rowing the co-workers. He's pissed off, and everybody's just angry. Listen, we have an angry country, and we just need to find ways to express ourselves. This is evident and manifested in all the criminal things that we're seeing when it comes to these violent crimes and things that we are seeing in the country. So we have to find ways to have people manage their temper and find ways to deal with their issues. But right now, we have a challenge in this country.
It's a society that's gone off the rails. And that's an individual thing that we must all look at ourselves daily, really, and just sort of do some introspective work on ourselves before we face the world. It really is quite disappointing what took place. And again, quite assuring that Bahamas Air stepped in quite quickly, management, and addressed the issue. Meanwhile, I'll tell you where issues need to be addressed at the Ministry of Health on Meeting Street. Industrial action happened there as well today. This time, the government and union officials seem to be on the same page about an issue that is deeply affecting civil workers at an aging government complex now under construction. We get the story from Jose Etienne, and then we come back and talk about it.
Dozens of staffers from the Ministry of Health walking off the job on Monday morning in light of what's being described as poor working conditions worsened by ongoing construction efforts at their Meeting Street complex while workers are on the clock. And Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson isn't mincing words, lashing out at the government official allegedly responsible for greenlighting such a move.
We are appealing to the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Colin Higgs, because it appears as if something is happening with the PS's cognitive skills. Construction and productivity can't happen all at the same time.
Eyewitness News saw firsthand what government staffers are struggling with. Men on board scaffolds as they carry out infrastructural upgrades for the building. We also got a view of what appears to be decaying ceilings. Now, Ferguson isn't shying away from the urgency of the renovation project.
We have a very, very leaky roof, and it's now raining in the building. If you were to go inside, you would see the garbage receptacles lined off to catch the waters on the floor. And so we got wet carpet, and it's emanating an odor. And so a lot of people are being impacted by that. And then to compound that, it's enhancing the mold situation here. I advised him to shut down the building until such time as the renovations are complete.
But if the issue persists,
we're going to take some industrial action that's going to be longer than today's action. We need to know what is going to happen for the remainder of the week and the time that would continue while these contractors are in the building.
Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll also speaking out as she's been forced to allow her workers in the public service who occupy the same complex to take the day off, while she says the weathered building is affecting her personally.
Are not conditions the staff should be working under. I am currently on my way to have a meeting with the NIB building manager to look for an alternate location for these two ministries. While it was thought that the renovations could happen while the staff occupy the building, clearly that's not the case. As the Minister of Labor, I will not have employees working in conditions that are not decent working conditions, that are not conditions that are humane, and that are conditions that are absolutely uncomfortable for them.
Meanwhile, officials could not say when the renovation project could be completed. However, there are fears that reported issues experienced in recent weeks could slow down the completion of the project. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
You all, of course, you saw that there, that building. Many people for quite some time now have been complaining about the mold in the building, but that didn't have to get there, did it? Because as far as government buildings go, that one is relatively new. It seems to have just lacked the proper maintenance.
And that is the case, Shanique. I agree with you totally. If they had done portion by portion, section by section maintenance over the years, because like the union leader said, it's rainy. So obvious there needs to be maintenance and roof fixing, and walls look like they're cracking. And what we in this country need to practice, because there are a number of buildings was allowed to just run down and then relocate. And I understand what Minister Pia is saying. There's a relocation, but you have to admire Miss Pia Glover-Roll's calmness throughout this. She has proven to be such a focused and strong leader.
Well, what the public service needs, because I tell you, it's volatile when union presidents are knocking and kicking your door down, saying, deal with this now. Right, yeah.
Yeah, but see, you know, part of the problem is, in my view, is this. These establishments have cabinet ministers who are actually responsible for these locations. Do these cabinet ministers visit these locations? And if they visit these locations, how is it that they see those locations as being acceptable for Bahamians to work and to produce and have the kind of energy and the mindset to produce and to deliver on services to the customers that come there on a frequent basis? It's poor leadership in that regard. Yeah. In the same vein as I often look at it, I wonder sometimes, up on Carmichael Road, there's parts of that road that has been in a deplorable state for years. And there's a cabinet minister who lives right there on that road. He rides that road every single day, and I can't for the life of me understand how come he hasn't made a call to fix the road.
Which part of Carmichael is
this? This is Vaughan Miller, right? Up on that street, every day riding up on that road is deplorable. You have to duck and dodge and hide. And it's the same thing with all these dilapidated buildings that they expect Bahamians to perform and execute their jobs effectively.
Glenroy, you've got to stop because Vaughan Miller is not in charge of roads.
He's not, but he rides that road. He's a cabinet minister.
He's not the
Use your influence.
And he's not the member of parliament for Carmichael.
Use your influence. He rides the road every day.
So then there are many other
and a part of that road is in his constituency.
Mm.
That's the challenge. The part of the road is in his constituency.
Which part of Carmichael you never said?
If you ride from Gladstone Road straight to where Vaughan Miller lives, that road is in deplorable state and it needs to be fixed. I mean, I am a taxpayer. Many people are paying taxes. We are expecting our roads to be in good condition. But in the same fashion, workers in these buildings should not have to go to a place that is leaking and expect to be performing. And they should not have to be out there crying and asking for help to fix something that is so basic.
It is the neglect.
This is how people judge us as a country.
As you said, these issues are years old, and it's a neglect of, you mentioned cabinet ministers, but I dare say even permanent secretaries,
all of it,
who too have been fixtures for years at these various ministries.
All of it.
Keep the building up. That should be part of what your budget is.
It's basic.
I tell you, fully dunce. Fully. I like that. I stole it from Andrew Holness. I said I have to fully done.
Oh I see this green.
Get it.
I see this.
Listen to me, JLP. Peggy, you want to weigh in before we move on?
No, I love how you just squeeze the name.
I don't know where it came from.
The outburst.
I got more names to give.
Yeah, but
they got to do their jobs.
Yes, and that's the message. Do your job, sir. We can't say it was the previous, because you were the member of parliament consecutive.
It's almost 4 years that road been like that.
Yeah,
almost
and so,
4.
sir, your name has been called. Get the roads fixed.
Tonight, a nation remembers 6 years ago when Hurricane Dorian, a record-breaking Category 5 hurricane, made landfall in Abaco before stalling over Grand Bahama for almost 2 days, becoming the most deadliest storm on record in the country. Near 100 lives were lost and thousands displaced. And so this evening, as we go to this break, we pause in a moment of silence in their memory.
As we continue to develop the orange economy of the Bahamas and empower our artists and artisans, we as a government intend to show tangible support. We are therefore requesting our Bahamian artists and artisans to submit images of their handmade, authentically made Bahamian products and prices as we move to produce a live digital booklet with Bahamian-made works. With the creation of a live booklet, artisans can always submit new works to be included. It is our intent to use this book as a catalog for the purchase of items by all senior government officials for gifts, display items, and the like. Ministers, permanent secretaries, members of parliament, and ambassadors will be supporting our orange economy by the purchase of items and in sharing this book to the wider global creative community. We are committed to grow and expand the orange economy of the Bahamas.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Of course, Peggy outed me, yes, or was it Glenroy? Yes, someone says, is your green tonight a symbol of where you stand in Jamaica? Yes. if I could have stand somewhere. Listen, electricity is back on for most of Fresh Creek, Andros. It's really good news following Sunday's massive fire at the power station there in that area of Andros. Thick black smoke engulfed parts of the building as fire destroyed a trailer and a shed, but firefighters contained the blaze before it reached the main generation facility. The Bahamas Power and Light says power was restored to Bowen Sound by 3 today and Cargill Creek, this is last night, by 10 last evening. So they really worked hard to get things back on stream. Bearing Point also restored ahead of schedule. Minister of Energy and Transport Jobette Colby Davis, MP Leon Lundy, and also BPL CEO Tony Simonet were among a number of persons who went to Central Andros today to look at the damage for themselves. BPL COO Anthony Christie says emergency response teams continue to assess the cause of the fire while working to restore power to the remainder of the island as quickly and safely as possible.
So, Shanique, I think that
in the meantime, we are bringing in units out of Grand Bahama, some rental units from M&E Limited that should be arriving in Andros at some time this evening. Our teams are coming over as well to do some assessments on the transformers at site to ensure that we can safely restore supply from the Fresh Creek Power Station. There was some damage to our transformer bay, which is why there were some residents that were without power. However, the team worked all day yesterday to restore power up as far as Cargill Creek. So the residents of Bearing Point did sleep off last night, but the team is on the ground again this morning working to improve the voltage conditions because we're supplying the entire island now from the Nicholstown Power Station.
Well, firstly, we'll have our team, our security team, our audit team, in addition to our insurance team. They would send an adjuster who will do an assessment and an investigation to determine the root cause so that we know who needs to be able to be accountable for the damage or in order for us to put in a claim. So those are the initial next steps, and those teams will be mobilizing as we speak to arrive between today and tomorrow. And again, our safety team will also assess in order to make sure that we have enough safety and protection equipment in place for us to go back online with full supply from this power station.
And so, of course, Anthony Christie says response team continue to assess the damage there. But you all, it's good news. It could have been worse. I'm so happy when that news broke. We were like, oh, gee, not another issue with BPL. And in this instance, a fire that obviously could you see the damage, and so obviously you know it. If perhaps the whole plant has to be rebuilt. But it's thankful that most, if not all, of those residents are back on tonight.
I must commend the staff of BPL working in Central Andros because they fought the fire themselves and they did all the hard lifting to restore electrical service, which I understand to be in record time. So congratulations, well done to the hardworking staff of BPL at Central Andros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good job on getting it fixed and resolved.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Now we are going to go to this other story. Carlisle let me know exactly where we are when it comes to time. However, the government and the Pindling family are not giving any credibility to allegations made by convicted drug trafficker Carlos Lida, who in a recent aired podcast reignited startling claims against the father of the nation and the country's first Prime Minister, Sir Lyndon Pindling. Lida, a former major player in the once notorious and feared drug cartel, is claiming that he made lump sum payments, some $150,000 monthly, directly to Pindling. The allegations resurfaced days after the nation observed Pindling's 25th year anniversary of his death. Now the allegations bring back to memory a consequential time in Bahamian history when the country was marred by corruption in controversy. At the time, Pindling was under a microscope as United States officials believed he played a role in the funneling of tons of cocaine into the United States, although those allegations were never proven.
The British government had just turned over to the
to the African Bahamian population the islands themselves. They became the government. The British left the Bahamas, and the new government was the Prime Minister Lyndon Pinlin. So they were, for the first time in their entire life, they were free, independent islands. And they decide to be more open about tourism. That enticed me. I managed to open up an island in the Bahamas, and I was able to acquire the island. And that's how I was flying in my cocaine into the United States through my private island in the Bahamas.
Well, I'll tell you this, the biggest question coming out of that, in fact, there was an article today in the Tribune, the top story, and people were like, where did this come from? Yes. Why now? I mean, what are your thoughts, Peggy and Glenroy? Because really around the nation, it resounded, like reverberating off the walls. Where did it come from?
Yeah, the first day of school. Why now? Why the top story? I mean, the Tribune must make sense of this. It didn't make sense when I first saw it. I sucked my teeth. I said, where did this come from? I thought that dude was dead.
You said that was posted in which newspaper?
Tribune.
Isn't the gentleman running for the PLP in the
wanting to aspiring?
No, he's
an aspirant.
Yes.
And his publication is posting such. Interesting.
Yeah, they must be trying to sabotage him, is all my mind could say. Common sense will say, what you said and that just do not make sense. And besides the political side of it,
somebody must be trying to sabotage him. What do you?
For that story does not align with his desire, and if that's his family paper, it doesn't align with what he wants. Not only that, I was going to say the political side of it. Common sense will ask, why now? Why is that the top story in the Tribune today? And the timing is so off to bring back a part of our history, not a proud part of our history. After we,
it's over 40 years. You know, it's decades old.
And how come that nigga still living?
Yeah, it's decades old, and people were like, I mean, we've moved beyond this. We've moved beyond that. There's no investigation going on. There's nothing.
Well, obviously they're still linking us to what they believe to be a drug gateway. The challenge is that, as Mr. Pinling would have stated back then, and I agree with the statement that, listen, we don't make the drugs here. We don't all the drugs. There's an appetite for the drugs up north. And obviously with that appetite, they find ways to filter it through. So to link the Bahamas as the sole proprietor of the drug flow into the northern country is ridiculous. I mean, and obviously we had a drug challenge in the years past, and there are still some today. We have some former police officers and defense force officers currently on trial for the drug scenario that has transpired. But we are just a gateway for the appetite that exists up north, and unfortunately some Bahamians find themselves on the wrong side of the law, trying to satisfy themselves from a monetary perspective. And unfortunately, some get caught in that. But to talk about something that is over that length of time, I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it's relevant to what's happening in our current Bahamas.
Yeah, we have fresh stories concerning drugs, like you mentioned, and to go way back then, it really is a suspicious move in my mind towards the Tribune. The purpose, the intent, the motive, what was it?
Interesting.
I thank you all so much. Of course, listen, tomorrow evening we're looking to perhaps go to Jamaica, not physically, not physically.
Massive cool.
We want to electronically go to Jamaica and bring them in on the show, just to get an idea of what's the mood like in Jamaica. I'm sure you've been watching it like so many of us here in the Bahamas. their election campaign and all the rest of it. You formed your opinions. Well, we hope to just get a general idea of what the mood of the country on the eve of their general election. We'll have that tomorrow evening and so much more for you as well. I want to thank at the top of tonight's show Daniel Thompson, who is president of the union there at the University of the Bahamas. Thank you very much for being here this evening. And of course, my Hot Topics panelists, Peggy Scott and also Glenroy Pratt. Thank you very, very much. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you. Thank you very much for hanging out this evening. I appreciate having you here on behalf of the entire Beyond the Headlines team. I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everybody.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and